And perfect. We're on.
Hello, everybody. This is Tom O'Hare from Pivotal College Years. I'm joined by the creator of Pivotal College Years, Shelley Honeycutt, and we're here for Talk College with Pivotal College Years. It's our bi-monthly program to try to offer some information on what's trending in the college planning world before, during, and after. So, Shelley, you and I have worked with our seniors to the point where they've made their decisions. They're putting together their financing plans. What's some of the things that you have actually seen with your clients and how the acceptance process has been this year? How maybe it might be the same next year?
Right. So it's been a bumpy year. Different things at different times of the year. We had some great, phenomenal acceptances at elite colleges happening at the beginning of the year. And then it started to trail down after December, and the competition got harder, from my opinion. As we moved into April, many of the best candidates were struggling to get acceptances or get off wait lists. The competition really peaked up, and colleges once again had record number applications. Did you experience the same in your practice?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that with the pandemic, with the elimination of the SATs and the ACTs, and schools going test optional, although we can talk about that maybe in a different program, that some schools were still looking at those tests if they were being submitted. It gave the opportunity for students to apply to schools maybe they wouldn't have applied to in the past. And it just created a flood. I talked to one admissions person, they got 45,000 applications for 2,200 seats. So
Wow.
supply and demand is great for the school, but it's not necessarily for the student, even though they may be the brightest of the brightest. They're finding, as you have, put on wait lists, denied, and or their family didn't receive really any good tuition assistance.
That's a great point. So, if they were accepted into many of the elite colleges, the award letters weren't so great. Of course, some have just need based policies. So, I'm casting a wide net there. But we did see some fantastic award letters when it comes to the smaller or medium sized private colleges.
Yeah. As Peter Pitts, who is a former VP of enrollment out in Chicago, he writes a lot about why not ask about small schools. So the whole concept of looking at small and medium-sized schools is a message that I'm putting out to families. I know on Pivotal College Years, the website, the portal, the online portal that families can subscribe to or receive free if they're a AAA member. We have information in there on how to look at your list, how to look at the list that's reach in your zone where you might be top dog. And families really need to be positioning themselves in the next year to cast, as you said, that wide net.
Actually, I read that article from Peter based on your suggestion. It was fabulous. I think it had great points in it. And within the Pivotal College Years student portal, college planning portal, there is a downloadable list in there called Hidden Ivies. And it really speaks to what he was pinpointing, the advantages of a small college. And I have to wholeheartedly agree with him and you on that. I think it's a fantastic place for students to be.
Yeah, so as families looking, the junior families now becoming seniors, looking at their list, yeah, we want you to apply to the top schools where your sons and daughters can represent their profile. But a 4.0 in a 3.8 environment may garnish more attention from the faculty, more attention from financial aid, because they're still trying to fill seats. I read on the National Admissions website the other day that there's still about 250 colleges that are still today accepting applications. And some of them are the
Right.
best and brightest of colleges.
Right. And I would say at the tail end of that list, where, medium to small, tier two private colleges, we were very well rewarded with financial aid appeals, merit aid appeals, and more than one at some of the colleges, which led to fantastic packages. I did see a difference in my male and female candidates, and I did notice that. Did you have the same experience?
I see that schools are still struggling to get males to apply and go to school. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because you know my position. Everybody should get an education after high school. Everybody doesn't need to go to college.
Right.
So males may still be going into the workforce, into the trades, which is wonderful. But if
Agreed.
they're not going to college because they're not ready for it or they're not been guidanced into it, so to speak, if that's a word I can use. Schools are looking for males, especially in nursing, continuing in the nursing programs, they're looking
Yep.
for males. The humanities, the social services, and teaching.
Agreed.
So colleges, males, maybe you have a little bit of an advantage over your big sisters to get into school. So ask those questions when you go on a campus tour.
Oh, that's smart. A tip there. I would say with my male candidates that were applying to the traditionally male majors like business, engineering, those types of things, I did see lower acceptance rates than normal. And especially at the tier one universities and Ivies. I did notice that female candidates in the beginning of the process who were applying early action and things of that nature without test scores. So I think we should do a full podcast on that, were highly successful.
Yeah.
So we had some big wins this year, including Stanford, Harvard, Villanova.
Well, I mean, it's no secret, supply and demand is now a driving force in the higher ed enrollment world. And I think the other thing that I talk a lot about is parents and students need to know what schools need to make their portfolio, to make their class. And sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does conflict with us as the student or the family. So the more we know about a particular school's needs, as you said, females in the business side, males in the nursing side,
Right.
those are good ways to try to, position ourselves as we move forward. Another thing that I wanted to bring up with us is what's going on with college visits.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, with the COVID release, here in Massachusetts, where you and I are, the governor has declared that June 15th, all the wheels are going to be taken off of the emergency acts. Do you anticipate schools gearing up for a big summer of campus visits?
I am hearing it. So, college touring timeline is very different this year, right? Because spring, there weren't that many colleges open. Some families did try to do their southern swing or go visit a few colleges, but mostly had to do the via phone. Card tour and didn't get to see much of campus. Some campuses didn't even let them on, but they felt like they had to get out of the house and go see something. So I think it was worth it, even if it was for their mental health. But colleges are ramping up now, I think, and what I've been seeing, to have more touring on campus. And so you will not see the campus in full bloom like you would in spring or fall. But I would say get out there, go see the types of campuses and the settings, and come back with that concrete information and start synthesizing it and sifting through it and picking out schools that fit you, who you are as the student, well. So is it big, small, medium? Some kids are more flexible, some are not, but it's your home 9 months out of the year, so you need to be choosy.
Yeah, most definitely. Go on a rainy day, go on a sunny day. Everybody loves a college campus on a sunny day. Go on
That's
a
right.
rainy day, look and see what's going on. And from the talks I've had with some of my admissions colleagues, they're going to be keeping students in the ambassadors group around so that they can give good tours.
Right.
School may be a little bit in session because students may be taking some on-campus classes for the summer to backfill for what they missed.
Right.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. You got to get out and you got to look at the concrete schools. You got to look at the ones with the ivy towers. You got to look at the ones that are in the rural area to find that out. And as we know, we haven't been able to do that. So put together the map and go on a visit. And when you're there, have good conversations with the people you encounter. Bring a notebook.
Yeah.
You see a faculty member with a tie on or a nice shirt, say hello, introduce yourself.
And Tom, what should they be wearing when they go to campus?
Well, they should be wearing what they might feel that the students on campus are wearing.
So
My-
pajamas?
No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No. In a
Okay.
dress shirt like this or
Right.
alligator jersey. No, I mean you're on and you're always on an interview in a sense. So yeah, no pajamas, no sweatpants, no baggy t-shirts, and that applies for the parents too. Please look presentable when you're on a college campus because you know the person walking with the tie is probably going to be a vice president, could be the president of the school, and they are there to engage you. And if you meet the president of a college and take down their telephone number and name and follow up on an email afterwards and say, you know, thank you for stopping and saying hello. I was the one with the red alligator and my parents were with me. You're starting a relationship. And I mean, you know my position, it's all about marketing. Students need to market themselves and that demonstrated interest word means more
Right.
than just sending an application. So yeah, look presentable. I mean, please, no pajamas.
Agreed. Agreed. I've seen that. That's why I brought that up. So,
Terrible. And when you're on there, register in the admissions office, try to make an appointment with the admissions counselor, set up an interview afterwards. You know, we've got some information that's going to be coming out on Pivotal College Years on how to increase your visits. There's information there now. We're going to add some more to it. But this summer and the fall of next year is really got to be dedicated for juniors to get themselves on campus and make that connection.
right. Right. And continue to make that connection with email is something that you promote and I think is a great idea. It really helps you in the acceptance process.
Yeah, and we hate Zooming because we're Zooming a lot, but you can set up, if you can't get on the campus or you
Right.
can't get to this person, send a Zoom, send a request, a nice email with a request to set up a Zoom call.
Right.
Because remember, they're out there trying to get students to enroll and they need to teach about that. So
So we have June 1st coming up very shortly. Bills will be coming out. So we've got a couple of things on the horizon for seniors heading off to their freshman year of college.
yeah, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means we have a lot of questions right now about new interest rates for federal loans. And then what is the checklist? What do we need to do before we get to campus, right? To be organized so that we don't have a lot of chaos going on. And when is the bill due? Uh, how do we take care of these things? It's still hard to call into colleges right now, especially if you're calling out to the West Coast. California systems are still very much shut down. So getting that type of support on the phone is very hard to do. We do have a checklist in Pivotal College Years that you can download, which is very helpful, and some uncommonly known tips are on there. But what are you walking through with your families?
Well, right now it's all about getting their final financing package put together. What's the strategy to pay the tuition bill? If you're zeroed in on the college of choice, where we're saying yes to the college, it's going to meet, you know, the academic, the emotional, the personal, and the financial side, then what's the gap? How much are we going to have to pay out of pocket through some type of means? And that checklist that we do have in Pivotal College Years has tips on different programs, including a tuition payment plan that schools
Right.
and families can use, private education loans that are available that students and parents can take out, how to potentially use your 529 savings that you can spread over 4 years.
Right.
Everybody gets a direct student loan, but you have to make sure you sign the promissory note. So once you accept,
And take the entrance counseling.
take the entrance counseling. That's available on the school's websites.
Yeah.
It's going to revert you to the Department of Ed's page.
Yeah.
You do your entrance counseling, you sign your prom note, and that money will be credited towards the tuition bill. Um, the general phrase is you got to resolve the bill by the time you want to come and move in. So you can't leave it lingering, because otherwise there'll be tears on campus when you can't get your swipe card or your key to the dorm, the all elusive place you're going to live, unless the bill's been resolved. So
True story.
I'm
Yeah.
tackling it now. If you need to tap into relatives to serve as a cosigner, because maybe things have caused some problems during pivotal college years, during the pandemic,
Yeah.
we private loans require cosigners. It's 99.99% of freshmen going into college needs a cosigner. If we're struggling as a family, then we got to get somebody to help cosign that. So the checklist is very good. It does take them through. A couple other things would be making sure that if you're going to carry your kids on your health benefits, you get a waiver. Otherwise, it's going to charge you $4,000 or $5,000 for health insurance.
Yeah. That happens every year. Some people think parents assume it's just freshman year. Every year you have to sign the healthcare waiver form. And a lot of schools don't have that prepared until July, by the way.
Right. So you
Do
learn about,
not miss the deadline.
kind of learn those things at orientation, but if you can get ahead of it now, that's good. The others that I point out to my customers is the FERPA form, which allows you to communicate with the college. Once your kid turns 18, they're an adult. Schools by law are not required to talk to you about academics, about campus security, about
The bill.
the bill. So you got to get that FERPA signed with both you and your student. Legal documents, if you're sending your children out of state and there is a medical issue, make sure there's a HIPAA form in place. Make sure there's a power of attorney if you need to, because if they have to go to the hospital, and you're frantically driving 5 hours to get to them, the doctor can't talk to you because they're an adult.
That happened to me with my oldest son in Colorado. I was woken up at 3 a.m. They were wrestling in the dorm, hit his head. They were on the way to the hospital, but the doctor was good enough to call me. And they were really good about it, but that could have been a problem. And the other thing I would say is get the immunization forms to your doctors early, because they have to be filled out. And you want the college's immunization form given to your doctor, not just one that the doctor produces, because the school wants specific things. And there's going to be wait lists for that. So don't wait until the last minute for that. I think that would be important. And then with the CARES Act, we have a lot of questions going on about what is the interest rate. They postponed the interest rate from March 27th, 2020. It's extended now until September 30th, 2021. What's going to happen? What will be our new interest rate for federal loans for the fall? Have you been getting those questions?
Yep. I've read a little bit from some of the things online about the fact that the direct student loan rate and the parent loan rate's going up a little bit, but not drastically, going up 0.5%, 1%. So
Definitely all up by 20%. So we're talking 3.73 from 275 for the undergraduate Stafford loan, and the plus loans in the sixes now.
6.8.
Yeah. And remember, it has that origination fee too of just over 4%. So
private loans will stay competitive, very competitive.
agreed.
Doing the business. So it's something to look at. I always talk about private loans as a loan of last resort and keeping the balance down. When you
Yes.
talk about the CARES Act here, I think you're talking about those that are in repayment now. And what's going to happen in September 30th, the wheels are supposed to come off and everybody's supposed to go back into repayment. It'll be interesting to see what happens with what Congress and what the president wants to do.
Right.
They might extend that period of time a little bit. I've heard some speculations that they may just go with a zero interest and start having people pay on the principal. The Department of Ed and Treasury is the largest financial institution in the world now when it comes to $1 trillion student loan debt, and they're making some good money on interest.
Right. You have over 44 million borrowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're in repayment now. refinance your private loans, keep your eye on the federal loans and see what happens, is the advice I'm giving people.
And then we had some new realizations with predator student loan debt consolidators. So what have you been hearing on that side?
Have you got a phone call at home? I mean, I have parent loans for my 4 kids. Have you got a call from home where someone's on the other end offering to eliminate some of your student loan debt, cancel it because you're eligible? Have you got that call?
Yeah, we get that because we call student lenders all the time. And so I get them on my private cell phone. Yeah.
So I read recently that the FTC has ruled against 3 companies in Florida that they need to disband on offering those services. Number one, they're free, right? You can go on the Department of Ed's website. You can see what the rules are for public service forgiveness, for teacher forgiveness, for nursing forgiveness. And then you can also call your college to talk to them. I mean, they are your lender by record or your loan servicer. So the FTC has ruled against these companies because they're basically charging a fee to process a piece of paper. And they are not necessarily representing the true way of being able to be eligible to do it, nor the fact that they're trying to entice people to get their loans forgiven, but there's no guarantee for them to be able to offer that promise.
No, I think public service loan forgiveness and the income-based payment system is, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, is very convoluted. And therefore, it has made this gap of knowledge for these predators to come in. Right. And there is no guarantee, but I have been on the new Department of Education website, studentloans.gov, recently, and looking at student debt with a mother and just showing her around so that she would know how to navigate and see some of the calculations for public service loan forgiveness. And it has gotten even more robust. You can run some scenarios, see what possibly could be forgiven all on your own.
Yeah.
And so I think it could be a good lesson for somebody. There's nothing you can hurt in there. You could get in there and take a look at what your options are and then maybe call the loan servicer to discuss more details, right?
Yep, most definitely. I mean, buyer beware. Get some education. Ask your loan servicing center. They're not the bad guy. They're trying to do the work. They're trying to help. We both of us know a lot of people in those organizations
Yes.
across the country. They're trying to help students take advantage of paying back what they have used to get their education. So just be careful of those individuals that are looking to try to help you in such an easy and friendly way because, buyer beware.
Right. And
Right.
so, with rising seniors, I just wanted to mention something. As we come into the summer, they should be looking at completing 3 things by Labor Day: refining their college list, um, their primary essay, and getting their application as refined as possible. And we have a new college essay workbook that's available to students or parents that sign up for Pivotal College Years, whether you do it through AAA of the Northeast and you do it free, or you do it through our website. Right at the top, when you log in, you'll be seeing this 31-page dynamic document that walks you through extensive brainstorming and deciding which topics you should be using for your primary essay, how to eliminate and get to the best topic for your student, and then also examples, Tom. We have some great examples of our top winners this year, their essays who have received acceptances at Harvard, Stanford, Villanova, Cornell, and you can read what a winning essay looks like and sounds like. And so I think that helps students quite a bit when they can do that.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we are here representing Pivotal College Years, so pitching a few things once in a while doesn't hurt.
Right.
Bringing a conversation, and the new essay workbook that you've put together is outstanding.
Thank you.
It's demonstrating what we're trying to do with Pivotal College Years, adding information. We're going to work diligently over the summer and try to put together our own college planning cookbook full of information to help add to the value. So if you haven't taken a look at Pivotal College Years, we would strongly encourage you to do so. I mean, it's a subscription-based program for parents, $12 a month. If you are, as Shelley mentioned, a AAA member, you can access it free. If you're a AAA member of the Northeast group, if you're actually a Wilmington Library patron,
Right.
take advantage of it. So we're looking for businesses and organizations, banks and credit unions to help sponsor the program for their members and their employees. So if you're out there listening and you fall into one of those categories, take a look at pivotalcollegeyears.com. Give us some feedback. You can send information to us at info@pivotalcollegeyears.com. And we'd invite you to come back and listen to another Talk College with Pivotal College Years. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another pre-recorded program for you. Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks, Tom.
See you soon.